Come, let me tell you a story. Tales of wonder, tales of light and dark.
What the hell is that? I love you. Don't you see?
There are all manner of stories here, for I am the art.
30 Cones by Samuel Dunton. Well, you ready? Ben asked. Simon sat across from him, curling a small strand of cigarette smoke around his fingers. They were sat in Ben's flat, or as it was formerly known, Ben's parents' garage. They had grown sick and tired over the past few years, with Ben bringing back Simon and the rest of their mates after whatever party or local park booze hangout they'd been at. Finally, they'd asked him to move out. "Ain't got a job," was always Ben's response. "Well, out to the garage then," they told Ben. At least this way, he had to lead his layabout mates through the back gate on the other side of the house. Then they only had to hear the back door go, rather than the front, and never have to listen to whatever heinous activities and conversations the boys used to conduct once they were in the lounge. Tonight it was just Ben and Simon. Pete, who was usually the largest and loudest presence in their trio, was with his girlfriend tonight. Something about a Chinese and a Boris Johnson being better than sitting in the garage with them for another night. But despite his claims of a better night with shit takeaway food and pedestrian teenage sex acts, Pete was actually missing out for once. At least, that's what Simon thought. Because tonight was the night. Tonight, Ben and Simon were going to rip 30 cones each, one after another. Now for those uninitiated in the various methods and slang terms for smoking weed, a cone was the small metal housing for weed when smoking a bong. It was shaped like a small cone, hence the term. And to rip a cone was to smoke it. Simple, right? You bring the flame of a lighter to the tightly packed bundle of tobacco and weed, or just weed if you're a purist, and whilst burning it, suck slowly but firmly on the top of the bong. Once the bundle was fully alight and burning, you would let go of the rush hole on the other side of the bong that you had been covering with a finger or your hand. Then smoke then rushes out of the bong and you inhale. Boom. High as a kite in one simple act. Now usually, a couple bong rips would sort anyone out. They're the bullet version of smoking weed. The joint, the knife, if you will. Now Ben and Simon were seasoned smokers. Old school vets. They'd been smoking together since they first met at school in their second to last year, and had proceeded to smoke every Wednesday. One in the morning before school, one at break time, then lunch. That was 4 years ago, and now they were up to all day, every day. They could put it away. Simon always used to say that they breathed more smoke than air. He once tweeted that statement, with a picture of him and the other boys in front of a Bob Marley poster that hung on Ben's garage wall. He deleted it after the first 10 comments all called them fuckboy cultural appropriators, so now he saved such statements for private company only. Now their preferred method of smoking had always been the humble joint, up until last month, when Ben revealed he had bought a brand new crystal bong with the birthday money from his gran for his 18th. So these days, it was cones, cones, cones. They'd started slow at first. Couple cones here, chill out for a bit, couple more cones, maybe level out with a joint, back to the cones. But last week they decided to push themselves. It was Pete's idea. Friendly competition, he said. Smoke each other out. Who was really the best? The top dog of smoking. They'd all reached 15 cones easily, but decided to tap out as there was a party going on down the park that they actually wanted to make it to with some cognitive thought. But tonight, Ben and Simon, left to their own devices, they were going to do it. The big one. 30 fucking cones. "Yeah, I'm ready," Simon said. He flicked his cigarette into the Sports Direct mug that was already stuffed to the brim with all manner of blem and JNs, torn pieces of Rizzler paper. "Well then, I guess you'll need this," Ben said. He handed Simon a crumpled Tesco carrier bag, housing something inside. Simon took it and, opening it up, let out a squeal. It was a bong, just like Ben's. "A crystal? For me?" "That's right," said Ben. "Me and Pete clubbed together. You love the cones more than anyone. Only right you had your own to hit the 30 with. Plus, it means we can literally go 1-for-1 with each other." Simon was made up. A crystal fucking bong. He wanted to take a quick picture with it, but stopped himself. He'd do it later when he was safely alone. There was no prying eyes in the downstairs toilets back at Mum's, he thought. "Well, you want to take us off? Christen that bad boy?" Ben said, packing his first cone. Simon nodded excitedly and grabbed the small plastic orange bowl that contained his weed and tobacco mix. He pinched a sizable clump together with his fingers and packed his cone tight. He picked up the cheap Bic lighter and inspected its fuel amount. It's pretty low, he thought, but it's always better to have a small flame. "Don't want to burn those fingers while you're roasting your brain," Pete had always said. Cone packed, Simon grabbed the half-full Evian water bottle full of tap water and filled up the bong to the right level. "All right, here we go," Simon said. He brought the lighter to the cone and started burning. Suck. Cone 1 done. Oof, that was nice. Light, suck. Cone 2 done. Even better. Light, suck. Cone 3 done. Oof, that's roasted, that one. Proper grim. Light, suck. Cone 4 done. Jesus Christ, Simon thinks. That's a quad cone I've done there. Might need to slow. Light, suck. Cone 5 done. Well, fuck, that's the 5th. Half of 10. Half a Ben's. Hang on. Was it half a Ben's? Don't even remember how much I put into the mix. Light, suck. Cone 6. 6, 6, 6, 6. 6-y siesta. Like a party in my lungs. Light, suck. Cone 7. They say it's heaven, but, oh boy, my lips feel a bit numb. Thought that was just Coke that did that. Light, suck. Cone 8. That's not great. Nope, not at all. Don't care what they say. What who says? I dunno. Just people. Them. You know who I mean. Light, suck. Cone 9. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cone. Light, suck. Cone 10. 10. It's a round number. Probably worth stopping on. Quick break. Never hit so many in a row. Or ripped. Hit or ripped? Does it matter? Light, suck. Cone 11. Does anything matter? Oh, Christ. I feel weird. Like my brain's in my mouth and my tongue's in my head. Can I taste my thoughts? They taste like bong water. Light, suck. Cone 12. I am literally a mess. Where are my fucking hands? No, not those ones. No, really. Really? Those are my hands. My hands? They look fucking old. Light, suck. Cone 13. I'm old. I'm ancient. 18. That's, what, 6,570 days? Is it? I don't know, what am I? A mathematician? Fucking calendar salesman? Point is, I'm old. Light, suck. Cone 14. What happened? Where did all the time go? Light, suck. Cone 15. Have I always been doing this? Has my whole life been spent hunched over this bong in Ben's garage? I don't even know anymore. Best have another cone. That always helps me think. Light, suck. Cone 16. No, that's ridiculous. You really are a fucking mong, aren't you? Christ alive, Simon. You spent your whole life hunched over a bong? Really? You were at Kew Gardens last week with Nan. You fucking idiot. Light suck. Cone 17. I wonder when Nan's gonna die. She's 86. She's got the iron hip. Lungs ain't too good either. All those Mayfairs over the years. Oh my god. Not Nan. Not Nana Pat. Light suck. Cone 18. Nan has an iron hip. Why not do the rest? She could live forever. Nana Pat. Human cyborg. She could live forever. Wait, did I say that already? Have I been speaking this whole time? Light suck. Cone 19. No. Of course not. She has to die. Everyone does. From the earth we came, and into the earth we remain. Wait. That's not right. Is it? I mean, it rhymes, but it isn't right. Light suck. Cone 20. That is cone 20, right? Fuck knows, mate. Don't ask me. I ain't been keeping count. I thought that was you. I'm doing the ripping here. Light suck. Cone 21. What are you talking about? I'm the one doing the ripping. Yeah, I know. Same. Oh, I get it. You're me. Light suck. Cone 22. I guess we smoked so much our brain has slowed down to the point where we can talk to one another. Two individuals in one mind. Like cranial Siamese twins. Light suck. Cone 23. How would we separate, do you think? I don't think I'd allow a brain surgery. I'll keep my brain intact, thanks very much. Hey, you there? Light suck. Cone 24. Of course he's not there. You're alone. You always have been. Always will be. Alone, spinning through this world like an atom. Bouncing from one pointless experience to the next. Light suck. Cone 25. A lost ship in the stormy seas of consciousness. Should you put down your anchor, come ashore? There may be more on the shore. A life, even. Or hoist those sails, ride out the storm. Light suck. Cone 26. What even is this? Where even is this? It could all be a dream. A dream of a dream, in a dream of a dreamer, dreaming about the dream the dreamer had when he dreamed about dreaming. I should write poetry. This is how the Beatles worked, right? Light suck. Cone 27. You are not the Beatles. You never will be. Light suck. Cone 28. It was just a thought. Fuck it. I'll just have another cone. Light suck. Cone 29. Second to last. At last. Light suck. Cone 30. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. 30. 30 fucking cones. Am I even human anymore? Or just smoke? I feel like I'm floating. I'm legitimately floating. Fuck that, I'm flying. I'm flying. Simon. You're supposed to pack it after every cone. You did one and then just sucked on the bong for an hour, mumbling to yourself. Just go home for fuck's sake, Ben said. Oh, thought Simon. It did seem a bit strange. The tree. It was Sally's 10th birthday, and all she ever wanted was a tree of her own. Her parents had always been into gardening. They had a small yet bustling vegetable patch in the back garden and a wonderfully vibrant array of flowers in the front garden. They had a selection of trees in their garden as well, trees which young Sally was always obsessed with. She loved to climb from them, swing from them, rest under them on a hot day. She loved the trees, but she'd always wanted one of her very own. A tree she could say was her tree. A tree she could bring her friends over to and say, "Here, this is my tree. Isn't it beautiful? It's just for me." Sally had long barraged her parents with this desire for her own tree, so on her 10th birthday, as her party was reaching its peak, They handed out Sally's presents. She got the usual gifts that had featured over her 9 previous birthdays. Video games, clothes, even some non-age appropriate makeup from Auntie Kelly. But Sally wanted one thing, and one thing only. And at the end, she got it. In a small envelope that Sally thought was just another boring card was a packet. "What's this supposed to be?" Sally asked with a shrill anger. "It's your own tree, Sally. Just like you wanted," her father said. Sally looked at the package strangely. "But it's so small." Her father took the envelope from her and opened it, revealing a seed. "See? It's a seed. Inside that is your tree. We just have to plant it and watch it grow," her father said, beaming. Sally was thrilled, and when the party was over and everyone had left, Sally sat in the garden alone. Foregoing any of the many spades and shovels on offer, she dug a small hole with her hands, eager to get the seed into what was to be its home. Cupping the seed in her hand, she whispered to it, "Hello, tree. I don't know if you can hear me inside there. I can't wait for you to grow. We'll do so much together. Dad said he's going to get a tyre for us to swing, and maybe even a hammock to sleep in. We'll have so much fun. I love you, little tree. See you soon." Sally kissed the seed and placed it into the ground, covered it in soil, poured a small amount of water from a watering can, and ran into the house, more eager for sleep than she had ever been. The next morning, as soon as she woke, Sally rushed downstairs, thrilled to see her tree having grown overnight. But when she opened the back door and stepped outside, she was disappointed by what she saw. Nothing. The same patch of dirt. No flower, no tree, not even a root. Sally cried, and her tears and her wailing brought her father down to the garden. "Where's my tree? I thought you got me a tree. Where is it?" Sally's father explained that the tree needed time to grow, just like she did. They would grow together, like friends. Sally didn't like this. Sally stormed into the house claiming it was the worst birthday present ever. But little did she know, in the ground, in the small hole she had dug, the seed was coming to life. The moment Sally's lips pressed against the seed, it had begun the process of its genesis. It wanted to grow. It wanted to be everything this little girl ever wanted in a tree. So it grew. It grew over the years just as Sally did. It watched as Sally became a person. It watched as she had camp-out sleepovers in the garden. It watched as she had family barbecues and parties in the shade of the other trees. It watched as she gossiped on the phone to her friends about their favourite TV show. It watched as she played hide-and-seek with her brother. It watched as she snuck out at night to go to parties. It watched as she snuck back in, throwing up in her mother's flower bed. It watched as she got ready for her prom and packed her bags for university. It watched as she grew, and it too grew. It sprouted from its seed and pushed through the soil. It reached upwards to the sky, building its trunk and branches carefully and slowly over the years. All this time it watched and it grew, and it waited for Sally to notice it again and realise it was so close to being what she had always wanted. The years went by, and the tree saw Sally less and less. It watched from the back of the garden as Sally's visits became less and less frequent. She would appear now and then, a new partner on her arm, a few Christmases and birthdays. But the tree didn't give up hope. It was so close to being perfect. It had been 20 years when it finally happened. Sally returned for good. Sally's father had passed away after a long and grueling illness. His growth had ended its process. The tree had watched him break the news to her and her brother and their partners and children a few months previously. But Sally was to move in with her mother, who was not far from the end of her years herself. She needed looking after, and the garden needed tending to. Sally's father had always kept it in check and good health. But by the time Sally moved in, the garden was overgrown and riddled with weeds and pests. But at the back of the garden, finally in bloom and ready, was the tree. It had blossomed into a gorgeous cherry blossom. White buds opened, a fragrant smell wafting down from its branches. From its position, the tree waited for Sally. Finally, After a week, Sally emerged from the house accompanied by a man. The tree was ecstatic. Conspiring with the wind, it released a flurry of petals from its branches and expelled its pleasant aroma into the garden, wishing and willing Sally to finally find her tree. Sally made her way through the garden, pointing at various parts, explaining things to the man beside her until she spotted it. She saw her tree, that tree she had planted some 20 years ago. Somehow, in the intervening years, she had forgotten all about it. She smiled, and walking slowly, approached the tree. She placed her hand against its trunk and inhaled the sweet smell. She turned to the man. "I planted this tree when I was a little girl. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful?" Sally said, admiring the tree. The tree was overjoyed. Finally it had been what it needed to be. "Very nice. So we're going to keep this one here then, yeah?" the man said. Sally paused, looking up at the tree. She pulled her hand away from its trunk. "No, I don't think so. This is a perfect spot for the gazebo." "Righto," said the man. "You want me to keep the wood from it once it's gone? Could be great for the gazebo. Cost effective too." "No," Sally said. "I only want the best." And with that, Sally turned away from the tree and led the man back through the garden. The tree sat silently. One by one, its leaves and blossoms fell off. The tree had fulfilled its function. It had been everything the little girl that planted it had ever wanted. But there was no little girl anymore to admire it, to love it and care for it. It was just a tree now.